you now have a picture of 2024 where there are many of these new measures introduced. 2025 has a relationship. Now that the intake has slowed down, IRCC has released, and they actually released some of this information at the end of the year, that they would be introducing new regulations in the program, and they should be released sometime in the summer. And these regulations are designed to achieve really clear mandates. Firstly, to improve IRCC's oversight of designated entities. As you may recall, there was a third body, NACO, that was in charge of overseeing the designated entities, but there was a lack of detail and activity there. So IRCC wants to make sure that they know what the designated entities are doing, that they're meeting a certain standard, and that there is checks and balances. They also want to clarify activities that are not permissible under the SUV program. So there's a lot of practices that have occurred in terms of how different groups get selected, how businesses are presented, the roles of designated entities, the roles of third-party consultants. And if you look at the regulations, there really isn't any guidance on what is permissible and what isn't permissible. And that's allowed a little bit of a free-for-all in the marketplace. And so IRCC is aware of different practices, and hopefully what they'll do is provide guidelines in the regulations as to what is permissible and isn't permissible. And lastly, really to clarify program requirements more clearly. And as lawyers, we can tell you that officers are thoroughly confused in many instances about what the program requirements are and what's permissible. And there's information on the website and some information on the regulations, and in some instances there's information that's in neither, and they're trying to make sense of it, and it's become quite an unpredictable process. So I think this is a good initiative where when I talked with IRCC about 3 weeks ago, they said, in fairness, when we asked about motivation in the new regulations, they said there hasn't been any significant changes in over 13 years to the regulations in a meaningful way, whereas the program has really, as Nermeen mentioned, it's evolved. So it's time to catch up, and that's what we're going to see. So I think when we look back at 2025, and by the summer, we're really going to understand what the new thinking is.